No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
And here we go again. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor. Glad you've joined me. Well, weather report for South Carolina. Right now, as I'm looking outside, it is raining cats and dogs, and it is cold. It's about 42 degrees at the moment, but it's cold. And we have had this rain ever since last night. So it started raining last night, and it's I have seen a bunch of puddles out there. I do not see any squirrels running around. They're smart enough to stay inside their trees. So today's a rainy day. I like rainy days. In fact, on this rainy day, I decided, you know what, I'm not going to talk about business this morning. I'm not going to talk about politics. Because, honestly, you can only talk about it so much before you just get pissed off and you just don't want to listen to what Biden's saying and what Congress is saying and what the news is saying. So, this morning I'm going to talk about how important it is for us to have bucket lists. I love bucket lists. I completed a bucket list back in November that went from South Carolina up to Washington, D.C., from Washington, D.C. to Chicago, from Chicago to Los Angeles. 4 days. And it was good. I liked it, except we had a few problems. We were 9 hours behind schedule. Now, they ran out of food. The engines of the train stopped working. So, but other than that, it was a great amount of fun. I had Amish people that were sitting right next to me, had a great conversation with them. Very nice people. They were on their way to Mexico. Can you believe they were taking the train from Pennsylvania all the way down into Mexico, and they were going to spend a few days there. They owned a dairy, and I asked them who's taking care of the dairy where they're gone, and they said, our children. So I think they had like 8 children or something like that. And so they were there taking care of the dairy. And so I'm thinking, you know what? Amish people are a good lot of people. I had Amish people from all over the place on the trains from the various cities. And I must say this, and this is what impressed me the most, okay? Everybody takes care of the baby. No matter what Amish is there, or father, uncle, friend, whatever, if a baby is crying, that baby is taken care of. I've never seen so much love for children than I saw from the Amish people. I was very, very impressed. And I'm thinking, if we're talking about people nowadays in our nation, communities, I don't think we see that care anymore. I mean, the deep care that always made that baby laugh, and when the baby cried was taken care of, because everybody's out there rushing around doing their thing. So the time to take care of a child, I think, has been shortened. Now, my mom, when I grew up, she was always with us. So I grew up in that type of atmosphere. But today, I think, parents have shortened their time with their children. So that was one of the things that I learned from this train trip. I love talking to people on a train trip. So at the moment, I'm planning my next one. And this one, I haven't decided whether or not if I'm going to drive or take the train. I would love to drive. If I could raise enough money to buy a small van where I could take my dog with me and travel across the United States, because I've got 16 more states that I've got to mark off my map, and then I have visited all 50 states. So this trip, this bucket list, is going to go from South Carolina up the north and over to Seattle. Then from Seattle, get on the ferry, which takes 5 days on the ferry. You do not stop in Canada. You go straight to Alaska. And then I'm going to get on a train there and go to the very end part. So I'm planning this, and I'm thinking, okay, I need to raise a good amount of money so that I can purchase this vehicle. But the biggest problem is I'm looking at these prices for these used vehicles, and I'm not very happy with it. You've got vehicles there that have 200,000 miles that are going for $10,000 up to $20,000. I'm thinking, these cars are used. They have gone a lot of miles. Now I know a lot of you are going to say, well, the more miles it has on it, the tougher the car. Well, I don't feel like being that tough. Because with that toughness on a 200,000 mile car, there's a lot of risk there. And I'm going cross country. Now, I don't know if you've ever driven across the United States, but you face a lot of different weather changes, a lot of different road conditions, a lot of different heat, it's a lot of different things. So you want to have a car that's going to be steady and that the engines are running smoothly. I have driven across the United States, I think 7 to 8 times now. I'm not quite sure. But I've driven across with my trusty little dog, because I used to have offices in Los Angeles. So I would travel back and forth, spend 6 months in Los Angeles, 6 months in South Carolina. So I'm used to that trip. But this one's going to be further up north because it's going to Seattle. So that's going to be way up north, and we'll be hitting some northern states. So I am looking forward to this, but I'm planning it out. So I was putting my list together today. And so what I need to do is, one, plan my route, if I'm going to drive, or take Amtrak. I got to make a decision here, because I need to find, if I can find a car within the next month, I'll be okay. But I need to raise the capital for that. And then I need to plan the Alaska Highway Ferry. Now, it only leaves every 2 weeks, okay? So I've got to plan it so that, because I'm still doing work for my clients, right? And I still need to submit payroll, I need to submit tax stuff for them. So I got to plan it so that I have internet access so that I can submit my documents and everything else. Because everything I do is online. Then I have to look at the Alaska trains and when they leave, and what I need to do for that. And then there's the clothing that is needed, and I need to look at my plane coming back here. And the one thing that I need to do, and I need you guys' help on this, if you guys are doing vlogs, what kind of a vlog camera are you using? I mean, you have to remember I'm old, so I need I need something that is simple to operate but still produces great quality. So if you guys are vlogging out there, and if you guys are using your cameras and sound systems and microphones and wireless microphones, let me know what you're using and what you feel is the best that's easy for an old man to use, okay? And then also, if you've ever done this trip from Seattle to Alaska, send me a note to tell me exactly what your experience was on that ferry. Now, I have watched vlogs of people taking that, and it looks good. Now, you have a room, you can rent a room. You can drive your car on, but you can also rent a room, and it's very basic. Very basic. A bed, a bathroom, and that's it. There are no couches, there are no scenic pictures on the wall. No, it's just like on a boat with nothing, no artwork, no nothing. But it looks good to me, and the food looks good. They have a really good place where they sell food on there. But if you've ever done it, or if you've ever done anything like that, tell me how your experience was, what vlog camera that you were using, and just let me know. I want to know what your experiences were like. Now, when I was watching all the vlogs on taking Amtrak, I saw it as this romantic, this type of trip that I was going to really enjoy. Now, I did enjoy the trip. My only problem is that the delays. The delays really got to us because it was making everybody frustrated. The other issue was that when I got to Los Angeles, I had COVID. I tested positive for COVID. So the trip was nice. It was good. It was something I would do again. But I don't want to get COVID again. That's one of the things I don't want to get. Now, it wasn't bad. I mean, COVID only lasted 5 days. And I had to take medications 2 times a day. But it was just like having a cold. I didn't have a fever. I did not have headaches. I didn't have any of that. I just had a congestion. And I still have a little bit of congestion even to this day. It affected my lungs. So if you hear me cough like that, that's because I'm still living with the aftermath of the November COVID trip. But I'm looking forward to it. And I think everybody should have a bucket list. I have a bucket list in July of going to Thailand. I was supposed to go last July, but the Thai government decided to have more restrictions on COVID travel. And I said, okay, no, I'm not going to do that. So now I have a plan for July. And this is my bucket list because there's a whole bunch of places that I want to film in Thailand. But that's later down the road. Right now, I have got to raise funds for a truck or a van of some type to get across the United States and up to Alaska. Can I do it? Yeah, I think I can do it. I'm just going to have to be creative in the situation. And that's all that I can do is just be creative. Now, the other issue is that I need to plan this all around my work schedule and my clients' needs. So this is probably the toughest part, is trying... Oh, the other schedule that I need to work on is the ferry, because since it only leaves 2 times a week, I have to plan it so that I drive there, I can get on it, and get going. So I have to know what their schedules are, which I'm looking at today to see exactly when they leave from Seattle up to Alaska. So I have a lot of work to do, right? But these bucket lists are what keeps you creative. That keeps you looking at new things that you want to do. Never be afraid to travel alone. I travel alone all the time. But never be afraid to travel alone. You meet a lot of good people along the way. So you're never really traveling alone because you're making new friends every single day. I'm still in contact with the Amish people that I met on the train. It's kind of difficult because they don't have phones. But every once in a while, I get a letter, I get something from them, and the conversation continues. Never be afraid to travel alone because you will meet people that will be lasting friendships and good friendships. So listen, if you want to help me out, go to my website, which is at www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. You can subscribe to my blogs there and to my podcasts. They're all there. I work on it every single day. If you would like to have a 60-minute business consultation, if you have questions, if you have concerns, or you want to bounce some stuff off on taxes, I can do that. I'm a licensed tax practitioner. Send me an email at thebusinessadvisor@zmail.com. Simple and easy. Everybody go and have a great day. I'm going to stay out of the rain. God bless you. Bye-bye.